Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball Series Recap. The first one, second half teams are set. There will be no more changes. Let's see how the new people did. Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball. Thank you very much for joining us today as we recap the weekend that was in the world of Major League Baseball. It's the Mookie Bats. My name's Jimmy. I got Jake sitting next to me. We got Trevor coming to you from California. Producer BBD in the corner. And this one's brought to you by new patrons Jack Howlett and Tyler Hostetler. Where do we know that name from? Is that from a movie or is that an old pitcher or something? Hostetler.
Old QB, I believe. Jeff Hostetler.
I think it's also from a movie I know.
I want to say Oakland Raiders, maybe?
Yeah, you're right about that. Jake, how are you doing?
James, Trevor, BBD, everyone live in the chat. We cleared the deadline. Snaps for us. We're incredible. We're the best. Baseball crushed it, 10 All-Stars or whatever. Every team made a trade, except the Rockies should be excluded from that because did you really? But I'm doing well. We had a crazy weekend. Hudson Valley Renegades hooked it up for us. We had a blast there. Yankees high A, little blitz ball, first pitch, boozy ice cream, all of it. What a time to be alive. Excited to, get in the teeth of this baseball weekend because, we got sucked in Yankees land because they're the most back, as Trevor Plouffe has been telling people on the internet. And see what's going on with the other teams. I did a little bit of a standing watch. There's a couple teams trying to get in the mix, which is a little bit of fun. So excited to talk about it with you lads. And, with my outfit today, sure, it's a little bit of a weekly dumb ad, but also an homage to my guy A-Rod stepping in with that big D energy, as he labeled it, determined, darling, and dapper AF. And no other D references there, Trev.
That's what he said?
Yeah, he posted it on Instagram. And he captioned it himself. Big D energy, determined, darling, and dapper as well. It's the best.
It's not even funny. You guys can't laugh.
It's the best. The best to ever do it.
I don't like him. And if I meet him, what am I supposed to do?
I met him, he was mean. It wasn't mean. He just
if he came up to me,
he
like, hey,
didn't
man,
look
love,
at me
love
for
what you're
longer
doing.
than half a second.
Very uninterested.
But he follows me, comments on talking Yanks and talking baseball. So I was like, hey, you know, we're at a baseball event, we're covering it. Like, hey, Alex, nice to meet you.
Where was this?
At California Strong.
He was there?
He put his hand out to his side without turning his head to face me. I walked up next to him. So he stayed looking at the field.
He was locked in the game.
It was warm up, so the game hadn't started.
Yeah, scouting.
He put his hand to his right like this without addressing me with his eyes, and I shook it, and he didn't shake back or squeeze. It just was there, and then he didn't say anything nor look, and I was like, oh, okay, bye. And then everyone else that we've ever met has said he's a jerk. So I also don't really like A-Rod.
I met him in 2007, and yeah, he's kind of weird.
It's my favorite alien.
He was going through it at the time, I think.
I
think that's when he got divorced.
I don't even remember him being at that event. I think I just blocked him out.
That's because you were killing it. You almost took out Jared Goff, right? Was that game?
Yeah. With the double play throw.
Wow, so you've been a Stafford guy early.
Oh.
I do like Matty Staff. I do.
Okay,
But that has nothing to do with it. I was just playing ball, all right? What am I supposed to do? It's in my blood. Freaking A-Rod.
What else is in your blood?
How you doing, Trev?
I'm doing great. I love Monday episodes. They are by far my favorite episode. It's clean. We know the games. People are just fresh off this weekend of baseball, and here we are to recap it. I think a lot of cool things happened. Had a good weekend off the screen. At home, Teddy's birthday party went well. Got to see some family, some friends. God, I hate A-Rod. Jeez, why do you guys? Why you do it? Why do you gotta bring him up?
Mookie Bats.
Dude, the first time I saw the Instagram story, I thought it was a fan of A-Rod, like, making kind of a joke about the caption. Like, I thought they wrote the caption on top of the A-Rod picture, and then I saw it on A-Rod's actual Instagram story, and I was like, undefeated.
Now he owns the Timberwolves?
I mean, you know, if you're J-Lo looking at that, like, damn, I blew it, huh?
J-Lo is so happy.
All right.
Sorry.
Huge baseball weekend.
In the AL, a lot of interesting things happened. I have the AL, so
in your little world, a lot of things are going on.
What are you talking about?
My little world is the American League.
This
East.
A section of it. and only the top 3 teams.
Well, Blue Jays
Yeah,
won.
3.5. Hey, Blue Jays
Blue
won
Jays
4 in a
look
row. We're
good.
back in Toronto, huh, Berrios?
Believe it, I just did a sequence episode dropping tomorrow on Berrios. Look out.
It does feel cool, though, that there's no waiver wire. Like, your teams are set, and it's like off to the races. Go.
Yeah.
You know,
it does feel good. August is usually weird. There's all these weird things that come out. This is your team.
yeah, it's kind of fun to. It is the second half, but it's almost like. You know what? If it was college basketball, it's almost like this is like the conference championship week.
Okay.
Or like the next 2 months. It's like, you know who's in the, like, who's potentially getting there. Now
It's
beat each other.
conference play. It's conference play. Like, you know, Duke plays USC on a boat somewhere, and you're like, oh, okay. Now it's like, we're in it. We got loose. It's go time, man.
So a lot of fans do standings watch the whole time. I can't. I don't. So, like, I fully flip on my brain where now I'm like, okay, well, what did the Red Sox do? Like,
Schedule pod, standings pod
what
now.
What did the Mariners do? Like, what did the, I'm now, like, in that world, but I don't allow myself to do that the first half before the All-Star break. And I think now before trade deadline. Now it's a nice time to be like, teams are set. Let's do it.
Bang.
I mean, there is a saying for the days that we're in. We're in the dog days, baby. Those dog days of August. This is a separator month. It really is.
Wow.
Really is. People who work their ass off in the off season are still feeling good. Guys that didn't might be slowing down right now. It's hot everywhere. I always thought August was a month where, like, teams that took care of themselves separated themselves.
Wow.
And then September, everybody's good in September because it's that time. You got to focus up. But August, the month before, this is a separator month.
Trev, what was your best month?
Ooh.
Career-wise?
Definitely summertime, I'd imagine, because it was freezing cold in the central in like April, even through May. I would say either June or July.
June. I'm just looking at OPS, so just according to OPS, June. You also were a good September player.
Sure was.
Clutch. Crunch time, baby.
You and Jeets. Yeah, and I think a part of the dog days of August that I'd want to tie in a little bit, I think we're going to start seeing more silly dugout stuff. The Blue Jays, Vladdy had a day off yesterday, so they taped him up to a post. So I think we're going to get more silly stuff to get through August.
162 straight games for Vladdy.
A lot.
Was it really?
I know he's Slim Daddy Vladdy now, but, I mean, he's still a big boy. 162 straight games in minor league facilities and all that. Hats off to Vladdy. That's awesome.
He is, like, young.
That is really cool.
I know he's young, but still, stand in the sun. You go to the beach and you're in the sun, you get tired.
My standout performer's getting a little love for playing a lot of games. Preview.
People are jerks. The sun is tiring.
Exhausting.
It is.
Like-
Well, I mean, it's the sun, Jim. It's like literally we revolve around.
People
it.
underestimate it, though. Like, I take a random listener of ours, and I say, go stand in the sun for 3 hours. You don't even have to make any plays.
Just standing around.
You're going to be tired at the end of the day. And you're going to be like, man, that took a toll on me. And I'm not even asking you to mentally lock in or take at bats or make any plays. The sun sucks. I fucking hate summer,
It's
dude.
also awesome too. I also love the sun. It's a love-hate thing, right?
There's going to be a day when we hear about a team that has like a dugout rest specialist.
Ooh.
Do dugouts
Like when
have
you're in the-
misters, like a mist zone, like at Six Flags, the mist zone?
Gosh, not to my knowledge, or I don't recall any misters in there.
Misters, would you go in the mist zone,
Maybe.
Trev?
Yeah, you know what's such a weird practice that everybody still does is those ammonia towels, which, by the way, work excellently. Excellently.
Sounds like something I should buy for the office. What are you talking about?
Do you guys,
Ammonia
you guys know what that
towel.
is?
No.
No, we're not
I
athletes.
think
so-
I think
Yeah.
I think
They
I'll know what
fill
you're
a
talking
bucket.
about.
They fill a bucket with ice water, and there's some ammonia that they put in it. I don't know how they dilute it. I think they just put it in the water. I
Can
don't
we
know.
pause the show and everyone get rid of their judgment for 1 second? What the fuck do you mean there's some ammonia in it? What's ammonia?
Oh, no.
It's a chemical.
Yeah, it's a chemical.
I know that, but like,
I don't know what it does,
We're
but
not
like
a math pod.
you-
We're not a science
you
pod.
You
put
would need
this
to
thing on the
dilute
back
it
of your
kind of a
neck. It's
lot.
amazing.
Let's talk some baseball. 10 minutes
Ammonia
in.
towels.
Quick note on the Vlad. I think not that many DH days too. Like you would think he'd have had more than he does. Looking at his appearances.
Good stuff, Vladdy.
I don't know, man. That's what they have. No misters. You got your old school ammonia towels. It really feels like almost like an Epsom salt bath. Like they're in the same ilk.
Same family.
If you catch my drift.
Elk?
I just read 3 different websites, the like basic 4-sentence description of what ammonia is, and I still have zero idea.
Okay.
I don't even know.
Like
what
just
it
a
does,
chemical
except
that
it's
does
cold,
just
it's a cold towel.
It's a chemical that does stuff.
It's every chemical.
Yeah. So,
People use it for cleaning stuff. Maybe.
I know.
Yeah.
I
I
know
can be
that.
corrected so quick.
I know that is. Yeah, I don't ammonia. I know clean stuff. Whatever. Ammonia towels, Jake. Let's get some for back alley at bats.
Let's do it. What's going on in the AL, Jim?
Well, the
Damn,
NL. Why would
What
we?
are you talking
What are you
about?
you skipping the NL on us?
Bone
God.
stimulator.
We got
So
passive-
breaking news: NL comes first, and also apparently the Lancaster Barnstormers have a mister in their dugout. And I lived a block away from that stadium for a year, so
The Lancaster Barn. They have a Mister.
the Barnstormers, their minor league team.
Now it's not pronounced Lancaster, right? It's pronounced
Yeah, it's Lancaster. It's stupid.
Lancaster. Yeah. Yeah.
That
PA.
doesn't make any sense.
BBD's Philly.
Who has the NL? Trev.
I
Bad
do. I'm
leadoff?
leading
Let's do
off.
it.
Big leadoff hitter.
Let's
today.
do it. Tell
Putting
us-
our juice up top.
Tell us what the hell happened, Trev.
The Brewers went into Atlanta, and Braves, what are you doing, baby? The Brewers take 2 out of 3, 9-5 Brew Crew, 8-1 Braves in Game 2, and the Brewers took the series 2-1. Garcia, Wong, 5 hits each. Adames, the greatest player to ever live, 3 extra base hits with 2 freaking home runs. The Brewers came back from a 4-0 first inning deficit to win the first game. Garcia, Adames, and Escobar. Eddie, our guy, in his Brewers debut, they all hit homers. Dansby Swanson tried to do it. He had a great series, 2 homers and 7 ribbies in Game 2 to get the win, but it wasn't enough. Brewers take 2 out of 3 from the Braves. Moving on, the Reds went into New York, and Mets, what is you doing, baby? The Reds take 2 out of 3. 6-2 Reds, 5-4 Mets in 10. We'll talk about that. And then they got the doors blown off 7-1 in Game 3. The Reds slashed 262, 533 slugging. They had 16 freaking extra base hits and 6 homers in the game. The Mets just did not hit. Kyle Farmer, let's freaking go. 5 hits with 3 extra base hits and a homer. And Jonathan India, ad for later in the show, 4 extra base hits with 2 homers. Cookie goes 4 innings pitched with 1 earned run in his season debut. They were wearing the black jerseys. You guys saw those. Look pretty sweet. Baez homers in his Mets debut in Game 2. Drury, our guy, walk-off single in Game 2. And guess what? Kind of more bad news for the Mets. DeGrom undergoes an MRI that reveals right forearm inflammation, likely out until September. What is you doing, Mets? Reds take 2 out of 3 from them. Moving on, the Cubs and the Nationals in games that... Do the fan bases even watch these games anymore? How could you after they dealt all of their players away? Max Manus, great tweet you had there. Nationals take 2 out of 3. I'm going to go quick with this one. 4-3 Nationals, 6-3 Cubs, and Nationals win the rubber match 6-5. Hendricks goes 7 innings pitched with 1 run in game 2, and that's all I really care about. Nats take 2 out of 3. Moving on, Phillies go into Pittsburgh, and the Pirates take 2 out of 3. Phillies, what is you doing, baby? They win, or they lose 7-0 in the first game. They lose 3-2 in the second game before finally Gibby comes to the freaking rescue, and they win 15-4 in game 3. The Pirates starting pitchers doing it. 2.65 ERA. The bullpen not so hot. Phillies didn't pitch well, regardless of who was on the mound. Rio Muto was 6 hits, 3 extra base hits, including he had 5 freaking hits in game 3. Let's go. Harper 4 hits with 3 extra base hits. I'm guessing in game 3 also. Gibson, our guy. Let's talk about him a little bit. 6 innings, 6 2/3 innings pitched with only 2 earned runs in his Phillies debut to avoid the sweep. He's putting them on their freaking back. The Pirates take 2 or 3 from the Phillies. Moving on, the Dodgers go into Arizona, and they take 2 out of 3 because obviously 6-5 D-backs, they walked him off. As Miguel Cabrera walked him off in game 1. I watched that with my brother over the weekend. And the Dodgers said, that's enough of that. 8-3 and then 13-0 against Jake's Snakes. AJ Pollock, we'll talk more about him later. He had a big series. Chris Taylor, 6 hits with 3 extra base hits. Turner, that's Justin Turner, 5 hits with 2 home runs. Urias goes 5 shutty in game 3. And no Dodgers starting pitcher pitches into the 6th, but who cares? They win 2 out of 3. What else is there? Gonsolin placed on a 10-day IL. Duffy not expected to pitch for the Dodgers before September. Is that the trade piece for them? They take 2 out of 3. Moving on, Rockies at the Padres. They split the series. 3-0 Padres, 9-4 Rockies, 5-3 Rockies, then 8-1 Padres in the finale. Padres starting pitchers not too hot. 6.3 ERA over the series. They needed the trade for pitching, and they did not do that. Machado, Cronenworth, 2 homers each. Hosmer had 6 hits. Musgrove, the only one that pitched well, goes 7 shutout innings with 11 freaking Ks in game 1. Way to go. Bad news, Tatis Jr. placed in the 10-day IL. His shoulder keeps coming out of his socket, guys. My advice, get your surgery, baby.
You think so?
And that's what happened in the end.
Wow.
Yes.
You don't think you should try and... How long is the recovery from surgery?
Wait, hold on. Give me snaps, bro. I just freaking ended that like on cue, baby.
That's fair. You dropped a bomb at the end.
Yeah, you did. You did drop the conversation starter, and a lot of freakins, and a lot of what is you doing?
What is you doing,
What is
baby?
you doing, baby?
And Gibby puts the Phillies on his back.
They lose 2 out of 3.
They lose 2 out of 3 for the Pirates.
Damn.
Stop the sweep.
That's huge, man. That's huge.
It's called a stopper.
Yeah.
Anyways, Tatis,
Called a
back to
stopper.
being serious. Think about all the shoulders we've known that have come out. Bellinger had a shoulder come out. He hasn't been the same since, dude. Okay, Tatis did it. I think he did it twice now, or 3 times now. He changed his swing from a one-handed finish to the two-handed finish. That was fine. But this last time, all he did was slide and put his left arm down on the ground, and the damn thing came out of the socket. You can't go around being confident as a baseball player if anything you do, your arm can come out of the freaking socket. So maybe you try to get him through the rest of the season. You know, we're already in August. Maybe you sit him for a while, get him back for September, but eventually, like, the guy needs to have surgery.
Yeah, that sucks. I'll let it play out.
Can you imagine?
No.
Can you imagine just playing and like, oh shit, my shoulder might pop out?
I had a
given
teammate
moment.
in hockey. It happened to him like after a lot of games. Coach would always have to pop it back in.
My college girlfriend.
You saw the pain he was in.
Your college.
You remember we were going out one night and her shoulder just popped out?
Yeah.
She's a golfer. She had some shoulder issues. And, yeah, pretty power move by her. I actually should give her credit. We were, like, going to, like, not a clubby place, but kind of a clubby place. So she was in, like, a dress, shoulder out, and she's like, no, I'm good. Like, we can go. And we're like, nah, dude. Chill out. And that's Tatis. Miss her. It's not true.
It's not true.
She's got kids and stuff. I'm very happy with Jessica. Everyone's happy. It worked out.
Oh my gosh.
The other thing I was going to say with the Padres, hey, good for
Trevor, remind me to tell you the story about when Jake and her broke,
such a
ended
good
the
story.
relationship, because it's really good. I don't know if we should tell it on air, but it's really good.
Not on.
Disco
Let's keep
Joe
that.
Musgrove shoved, was in the running for a standout. He didn't get it, and I don't want Padre fans to be mad at us because they do like getting mad at us. But Big Joe dropped one, which is good because their starting pitching hadn't been doing it the past month or so. So hopefully that gets him on track. But yeah, man, I mean, the Padres, we mentioned we're in August, 2 months left. Like, if they're without Tatis, the Dodgers just loaded up. We haven't talked about them yet. San Fran just did something over the weekend that it's like, damn, these dudes don't stop. The Padres 1-game wild card is starting to get like, put the pencil away, grab the pen, man.
The Padres are 5-5 in their. Put the pencil away, grab the pen. Oh, it's set in ink. You're not going to erase it.
Yeah.
I like it. The Padres are 5-5 in their last 10, 10-10 in their last 20, 15-15 in their last 30. So the Padres haven't been playing winning baseball for a month. Not good when you're in such
The
a
only
race.
thing is, the only team really chasing him is the Reds. And do you
The Reds,
necessarily believe they're
7-3
gonna
in
do
their
it?
last 10, 11-9 in
I
their
know
last
because
20.
because Joey Votto hit 70 homers in those games. I mean, that's not going to continue. I want the Reds to make it a race.
Don't,
That's
don't
the only
put
saving
Joey
grace for
Votto
the
on your
Padres.
bad side. Just
Yeah.
a good tip.
No,
Like, he's
I
listening.
love Joey Votto.
Okay, so it's going to continue. Why would it not continue?
Well, because nobody in the
This
history
is like
of the
when you
sport
said
has
Gibby
ever
wasn't an
No,
under
no,
2
no, no,
ERA
no.
guy, Trev.
Trev, I got you. They just
And?
need to pass the. They just need Trev.
Trev.
Put the team on his
the
back.
team
Call it
on
like
just
a
put the team on this
Greg
back.
Jennings. Know what the Reds need? They just need that performance from a different guy every week. So, like, Winker will do it
Sure.
1 week. Castellanos will do it 1 week. Your guy, Kyle Farmer. Max Schrock with a big game. Love that. And they take
5 for 5.
They take 2 out of 3 from the Metropolitans, which segues us there. They're 4 back of the wild card, which, hey, a week ago we were hoping that the Yankees, Toronto, they were 4 back of the wild card. We were hoping they can get in the mix. Reds, you're not there yet. But if the Padres flounder a little bit and the Reds division should stink the rest of the way, that could become a conversation. Come on, Reds.
I have a
100%
question.
it could be.
I have a question about the Mets.
Yes.
The Reds beat the Mets. If DeGrom's not coming back, what's the update? Just another setback. They didn't give a timetable, right?
I think they said September.
Likely out till September.
Okay. Well, as a cynical person, that means bad news, in my opinion.
It's not good news.
It opens it up for not returning, which I don't think it was before. Anyway, what's the Mets' rotation? They got Cookie Carrasco back, and he actually had a good start for a first time back out, or second time, first time.
Who is it?
It's Stroman,
Stroman, Walker. Rich Hill. Did he get traded to them?
Yeah, Rich Hill got traded to them. He's
Carrasco
been pretty poor.
and
Carrasco
McGill,
and-
the rook, who's actually he's been solid for them. But yeah, I mean that rotation changes a lot when you take out one of the best pitchers to ever do it.
Yeah, but the problem is Taiwan Walker is going through some struggles right now. His last 3 starts have all been not great. Stroman just had a bad start. I mean, you go DeGrom as your 1 is so good that Stroman at the 2 is great. Walker's 3. Once they bump up, everyone's out of order.
I do have good news. They have the Marlins this week, who we just saw. That's a good way to refresh your starting pitching a little bit. And then, we caught a little wind this morning. We're scheduled people now. Man, after that, it gets tough for Los Mets. We wondered why the Phillies' percentage in the division looked so good a couple weeks ago. It's because it's 13 straight against San Fran and the Dodgers.
Yep.
Jeez.
Dodgers at home, then they fly west without an off day in between the flight. And they play the Giants for 3, then the Dodgers for 3, no off day again. Then they do get an off day as they fly back east, and then they play the Giants for 3. And they have 3 against the Phillies before that. So they got 4 against the Marlins. They need to win 3 of those to, get going. The good news is, though, if they make it out of that stretch, and if they play 500, they play 500 in that stretch, the rest of their September's nice. The Mets have a nice September. So, and if you get DeGrom back for that September, It's really not as there's ways around it, but that is going to be a daunting 13-game stretch for them.
There's 6 home games against the Nats around that stretch too, which hopefully can give
beat
them
up
a
on the
little
bad teams, and man, last team we talked about a West Coast trip, a dangerous West Coast trip. They ended up trading away 4 of their core players.
The Nats or the Cubs? Yeah.
Listen,
Okay.
there's one team in the NL East with a positive run differential. I know it's not a great stat, but I do like to look at it. Can you guys guess the team? NL East.
NL East.
Marlins.
Is it still the Fish? The Phillies do it?
It's the Braves.
Boy.
And this is kind of crazy. In the National League, there's only 6 teams with a positive run differential. And the Braves are the 5th best. It's mostly in the NL West, and then Milwaukee's right behind them.
I know you can pick apart every stat. The Dodgers, what, Trev?
Dodgers are at 165 plus. And the Braves are the only one in the NL East, and they're at 49 plus. Everybody else is negative run differential, man. It's interesting.
I want to know why, Trev? And I think this is why run differential is going to start to not matter at all. When teams are losing, they just lose now. Like if you're losing 6-0, you're not going to try and come back anymore. You're going to put in a position player or the quadruple A pitcher that's up for 3 days and then send them down, and you're going to let them give up as many runs as it takes till they finish the game. So you see 13-0 games from the Dodgers, or the Yankees lose 14-0 because they just ride Abreu out no matter how many runs. So losses now are just you don't care.
Sure.
I feel like that wasn't that way 10 years ago. Like you didn't. Teams forfeit
I'm all about
games.
the mercy rule. I'm okay with the mercy rule now.
Okay.
I don't want a forfeit rule. I don't want a team to be able to say I'm done. But if there is like an 8 runs after 6 or something like that, I'm okay with that.
Okay. We'll look into it.
People might not like that because there are epic comebacks that happen, but
there's a line. It's
don't.
tough to figure it out with
don't.
fans going to a game and stuff. It's probably got to be like double digits.
Like
in
double
this day
digits
and
after
age.
7. You do
Something
7-inning
like that.
doubleheaders.
I just do
10 after 7, sure.
10 after 7 because they have the doubleheader game already. And maybe it's like maybe a losing team has to no, you can't do that.
And we got excited for it.
Definitely has to
talked
be
about
after beer sales are done because they'll never do anything before that.
The 10-run
7th inning
walk-off.
usually is when they do it.
Yeah, because if you get to that 10th run, it could be a walk-off win. And then you reward the fans with a discount to another game if they see it.
tacos, corn dogs, Jackie.
Tacos. Everyone loves tacos, yeah.
Corn dogs.
What else we got, man?
Braves are on an incredible win-loss streak, a.k.a.
Yep.
win, lose, win, lose, win, lose.
It's still
win, lose.
going?
I think they set the MLB record.
It was 14 before they played Saturday.
And they just did it in this 3-game set, so that's 17. 17 games where they just can't get the momentum. However they break it is going to, in my head, it's fake crucial to the rest of their season. If they do a double win at some point, like they break the Cinderella spell.
July 16th was when it started. They lost to the Rays, then they beat the Rays, and they lost to the Rays. Then they beat the Padres, then they lost to the Padres, and they beat the Phillies, and they lost to the Phillies, and they beat the Phillies, and they lost to the Phillies, and they beat the Mets, and they lost to the Mets, and they beat the Mets, and they lost to the Mets, and they beat the Mets, and they lost to the Brewers, and they beat the Brewers, and they lost to the Brewers.
I mean, at least it's the Brewers.
I mean,
right?
it's 2 weeks of just getting nowhere.
Nowhere.
Where you going? Nowhere. Just caught in limbo.
What you doing, baby?
What?
What?
I didn't hear you.
I'm buying it. I'm buying the
Anyways.
smallest amount of Brave stock. I think their August schedule is kind of easy.
What?
Dude, they go. So it's St. Louis, which both those teams are a mess right now.
The
but then
Braves are the easy team on the schedule.
Nationals, Marlins, Orioles. Like they still have the pecking order there. So while the Mets are in their hell, the Braves have their chance. I mean, this is it. This is the 3-week window to see if you have any fight. Soler had a good couple games. Jock's been playing well.
I like that. Soler had some good games.
Yeah, 4 hits in 2 games.
Change of scenery.
I'm curious for you guys because I don't really have a team that I necessarily root for. Obviously, you guys are.
You're just anti-Met,
Yankee
right?
fan.
Isn't that how you say it?
Yeah.
I love the Mets. I like all the teams. I like fun players, fun games. But for Braves fans, sure, you might sneak into the playoffs. I mean, you probably won't. But if you do, like, how can you get up for it knowing that someone's going to beat you, right? Like, or when you're a fan of a team, do you
delusional.
make some magic potion in your brain that says they can win?
No, you're delusional. I just did a whole speech on Talkin Yanks about this, that I have accepted delusion for the next 2 months. I didn't allow
so if
myself.
You're a Braves fan, you're like, this could happen.
Yeah. You're like the little kid in Angels in the Outfield.
In worst case,
I get that way with the Seahawks.
Yeah. That's fanhood, man. I mean, it's tough to. Everyone should be wrapped up in their team. That's how you should be.
drop a David versus Goliath, and you're clear of literally anything.
Oh my gosh.
Like if the Braves
Fine.
get the Dodgers, and they're like, we 3-1 last year. They got Scherzer. They got Turner. Nobody expects us. It's because you're not in the
And then they
playoffs.
go out and get swept.
And you're out. Speaking of, how about Cole Tucker's Pirates putting up the fight? Call him up, you sad sacks.
Obviously, call him up to sell some freaking tickets.
Sexy
guys.
as hell. But they've been busting up people's hearts since the All-Star break.
They're the ruiners.
I mean, Gibby put him on his back.
That is fun. See, I was on a ton of spoiler teams. That's the only fun I had in September. Was like, let's keep these guys out of the playoffs. And in my head, I'm like, God, like this, we're so bad.
I love that being your angle. Trevor Plouffe, the spoiler.
Not fun, dude.
Yeah.
You can only do that for a few games before you're like, this is. I wish we were not the spoiler.
Yeah,
We didn't
guys on
spoil
that team
that
I
many
like.
teams, by the way.
Wouldn't mind them in the playoffs.
Wow. Jorge Soler got a hit off John Curtis. Two guys on new teams, right?
Yeah.
Which led to a Dansby slam.
Might hear
I
about
saw
him.
Asdrubal walk off the Dodgers. I was watching the game live. I was like, wow, he's still going, and kind of looks the same.
Sexy.
Like he'll be playing for the next 5 years. But like, oh wait, Asdrubal Cabrera's on that team?
It is odd how
So good for
some
him.
names you have in your head as players or role players, and then you look up and you're like, wait, dude's had a really long, good career.
Yeah.
How'd that happen?
Yeah. He was legit for a while. He
Yeah,
could play- he
no,
could play
he's
as
not.
a
Maybe
picket,
there's
man.
better examples than him, but still there. Ass cabs. How long has he been in the league? Like, if you had to guess,
I looked
Jake looked. He's out of the game.
out of the game, so it's all on you.
12, 13 years.
15.
It's been a while. 15. All right, let's do salary because I do
okay, I
not have
don't
it
have
up in
that.
front of me.
Okay.
So this is fun.
Do you have it, Jim?
Do you just look on Baseball Reference?
Yeah.
Yeah, go to the bottom of his baseball reference page.
What are we saying? 50? 50 spot?
15 years. He's probably had like 9 of the million. More than that, actually.
I have the number.
Yeah, shoot. I'm gonna go 60 million.
Jake, you're
I
in.
said 50.
Trev's closer. 64,329,000.
Bad.
Good for you, Asdrubal.
He hasn't saved it all, too.
Love that, man.
Past 6 years, he's got a 108 OPS plus. Just
Boom.
being a little above league average for the past 6 years.
Love that.
In Polish, his name translates to Asdrubal Cabrera Stastyczki.
Welcome.
Do you guys remember that play he made, like the barehanded, then he flipped it behind his back thing? He was on the Indians at the time. One of the coolest plays you're going to see.
Okay.
For all the people in the chat, go Google that later. It's great.
Google it. Coolest play you'll ever see is
Tiny
Asdrubal
nut is
Cabrera.
when you Google my ass.
Anything else you got to talk about in the NL? Cubs, Nats, hilarious, but not really worth it.
Brutal.
If they trade everyone, I mean, in the team standings, not worth talking about.
Dodgers.
Maxie Mann had it was a viral tweet that went out.
Yeah.
All the players that they traded. That was pretty cool.
It's a lot of guys.
Dodgers and Brewers hitting like almost too good to talk about area.
Who?
Dodgers and Brewers.
I'm excited for. Who do the Brewers play next? Is it San Fran? Is that coming up now?
Can get there.
Because I'm excited for that.
Colton Brewer. Don't care about that.
Never have. You've never been a Colton
Just
Brewer guy.
don't. Wish I did. Oh, now I'm looking at their best players ever. They have Pittsburgh, so watch out. And
Wow,
then the Giants.
Okay. Well, what's their rotation? Figure it out.
Come on, man.
Come on. Why don't you just figure everything out?
I'm so excited for the American League.
You are?
Yeah.
Well, it's brought to you by Manscaped.
Go.
Ooh.
Attention listeners across the galaxy. All the way from Australia to Houston. Do we have a pube problem? If so, our friends at Manscaped have cleared you for takeoff with their 4th generation and brand new Lawnmower 4.0. Kick your pubes to the next planet with the Performance Package 4.0. The orbits in your pants will feel like you're in zero gravity when you use the best tools for the job from the leaders in male grooming. Join the 2 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped and get your rocket ready for takeoff by going to themanscaped.com for 20% off plus free shipping with code TALKIN. I'm Jim Rome.
Yeah, you were all over that.
Oh my gosh. That was a good gym room right there.
Thank you.
Do it again?
I don't know if I can.
Trust it.
I never do them on purpose. Remember when I did Dusty? Someone sent me
Falls
my
in there.
Dusty impression just on Instagram. He was like,
I'm like,
remember this?
the
That was fun.
little fucker one?
Yeah. Yeah, I forget. Get on the man, little fucker. Something like that. That's 20% off plus free shipping with the code TALKIN at manscaped.com. For a clean trinity and beyond. Oh, Jesus. For a clean trinity and beyond, your Spaceballs will thank you. Get 20% off plus free shipping with code TALKIN at manscaped.com. That gives you the American League recap. Are you ready? Good stuff happened in the American League, Trev. So
Wait,
Ooh.
I want to say one thing before we go into
Yeah.
it. There's a guy in our chat right now,
Jim Rome.
FAP, that said Kapler's vegan diet regimen will slowly turn the Giants players into women and allow the Dodgers to overtake them on the stretch. Newsflash, FAP. Gabe has the exact opposite diet of a vegan. He literally only eats meat and red meat. So
an ass.
Wasn't it his birthday? I think the team got him a steak.
yeah,
With a candle in
It was a steak
for
cake.
his birthday.
it was a steak. It was a steak cake, which he did not eat.
Don't say steak
because
cake
it's
on the show,
cake.
and we know that. I'll show Bud.
Is that something bad that I don't know about?
Phenomenal.
Steak cake. Anyways,
Manscaped.
Fap, you're wrong.
All right, Jim.
Go ahead.
The Red Sox went down to hell and got swept by the Rays. Fleming, Yarbrough, and McClanahan pitched better than Perez, Evaldi, and Pivetta. Red Sox in a bit of a slide. Have lost 4 in a row, are not in first place anymore, and the pitching has been bad. Franco had 6 hits with 3 extra base hits, and 8 Rays record multiple hits, and 6 different Rays hit home runs because they're just a whole family of freaks. McClanahan goes 6 innings pitched, 1 earned run on Sunday Night Baseball. First time Sunday Night Baseball was at the Trop since 2011. Wow, how about that? They don't deserve it. Kike Hernandez has 6 hits. Good job, Kike. No Red Sox starting pitcher completed 6 innings. They all gave up 5+ earned runs, besides Pivetta, so only the other 2 did. Chris Sale makes his 5th rehab start, is expected to make at least 1 more. Schwarber expected to begin rehab assignment soon. Gonzalez to be activated Tuesday, so they got help coming, and our buddy Glass now likely require Tommy John surgery, out for the season. Bummer for him. Indians and White Sox played 3 games, and it got testy at one point. Lynn versus Mejia in Game 1, and the White Sox win. McKenzie versus Keuchel in Game 2, and none of those guys mattered as the score went all the way up to 12-11. White Sox win the rubber match in Game 3, Lambert versus Quantrill. The White Sox had a .370 on base percentage in this series with a .485 slugging. They hit 7 home runs. The Indians had 15 extra base hits. How about that? The White Sox starters did not pitch well, but neither did the Indians. It's a lot of bad starting pitching in August. Ahmed Rosario had 5 extra base hits with a home run. Fran Mill had 5 hits with 2 extra base hits and a home run. Jose Abreu got hit in the head. La Russa ran out. He got mad about it. He looked so old in the process. Like it was like an eye-opening reminder. Like, oh my God, he's an old man. Athletics and the Angels played 4 games, and the Athletics won 3 of them. Starling Marte, the only Athletic to record 5 hits in the series. Yan Gomes homered in his debut with the team. Bassett, Montes both went 7 innings strong. Stassi was the only Angel with 4 hits. Only 5 Angels recorded multiple hits. Come on, Angels, help us out. The Blue Jays swept the Royals. Stripling, Manoah, Berrios. The pitching gods, they combined for a 0.98 ERA. Stripling, Manoah, Berrios, 3 starts, 0.98 ERA. The Blue Jays are pitching these days. Manoah went 7 shutout innings. Berrios went 6 shutout innings in his Blue Jays debut to get the sweep. Guerrero sat game 3. They tied him to the bench, as Jake said. Shout out to the Blue Jays. The Rangers took 2 out of 3 from the Mariners. Uh-oh, Mariners. Is it all falling apart? They got walked off twice, right? I think, at least once. The starting pitchers for the Rangers didn't even pitch good. Mariners, pitched better. Twice? Games 2 and 3, walk-off, right? Not good. Andy Ibanez game-tying 2-run homer in the 9th inning of Game 3 before Heim went back-to-back to walk it off for the 2nd straight game. Taylor Hearn gave up 0 earned runs in his 2nd consecutive start in Game 2. How about that? Abraham Toro stays hot with 7 hits and 3 extra base hits. The Orioles and the Tigers said, fuck it, let's play some baseball. And they sure played. And that's your AL recap.
They sure did.
Yeah.
What are you going to talk about, Jim?
I think it's interesting that the Red Sox get swept. I think it's interesting that the Blue Jays swept. The Mariners lose 2 out of 3. A lot of gaps got shortened in the AL. And the Rays take over first place as the Red Sox lose 4 in a row. And the the A's lose a little gap in the wild card, in the second wild card, right?
Sure did. Yanks and
the Red Sox, they're at a weird spot now where they were saying Sale's coming, that's going to be a move for us. But I don't think Red Sox fans were really saying Sale's going to come save our season because, they've been playing well all year, so they didn't have to think that way. Now you lose 4 in a row, and you're they need Chris Sale to be their savior. Do you think, is he going to be that? I know he's done well in his rehab games, but I don't know if they got enough. I posed the question on my Twitter, are the Red Sox going to make the playoffs? Overwhelming majority of people said yes. I'm not so sure. I'm not as convinced as, the general public is on them. It's August, baby. A lot of things happen in August, and they got to go 2 more months and stick where they're at. And the trajectory isn't there for me, man. And that would be that's a huge collapse for them. Coming out as hot as they did, and now out of first place in the AL East. And they just, I don't know. They don't seem like they're going to be there at the end for me. And I could be totally wrong, but that's how I feel about them. Curious to see how you guys.
You're in a momentum game right now. This is a tricky area. I know it's early August. There's 2 months of baseball to play. You're right. Their investment in Sale is going up by the day. Because even if, they've got a pretty good playoff buffer. The wheels would really have to come off. But even if, and this is where I've been with the Rays, and I just always believe in them because they always do this, they're tied for the best record in the American League with Houston. Tampa. And we've talked about them a lot, and, they're missing a lot of throwers, but they find other guys, and I've liked their lineup all year. I think this is one of the better Rays lineup, especially with Franco. If he's figuring it out, which he did in this Boston series, look out, man. They've got dudes. So then let's spin that back to Boston. If they end up in a 1-game playoff, 1 game, your season on the line, how is Sale going to look in these next 8 weeks? Because if it's not him, then is it Nate Doggivaldi? And Nate's had a nice year, but is he your 1 game on the bump? And imagine if it was Yankees, Red Sox, 1 game. Holy smoke. So interested to see. I mean, hey, this is Cora test time. We've been giving Cora a lot of love. They've been having a great year in Boston. They're going to get Sale back. Let's see what he looks like. I'm not going to bet against Chris Sale. I always believe in talent, and that dude's a freak. They're also going to get Schwarbo at some point. So that's another momentum changer, potential bump at some point. But, hey, they also went to Tampa, who, reminder, best record in the AL, with Houston, a team we've tasted all year. And the Trop can be a house of horrors for any team, so I'm not going to fully trash the Sox for this one.
I get that. I get that. And I could just be totally wrong about this. But when I look at, the Yankees they're 5.5 back of Boston in the wild card. The A's are 3 back of Boston in the wild card. So there is a lot of ground to be made up. But Toronto's is surging too. I think they made some really good moves. It wouldn't surprise me if they went on some, run here. And the Yankees can do the same thing. I think the Yankees look rejuvenated to me. And I think even Stanton said that, you see Rizzo, you see Gallo in the lineup and kind of perks you up a little bit. 6 to midnight, if you will. Yeah. So I am riding the momentum train. You're right. Thanks. You brought me back down a little bit. But still in my head, I think it's going to be a dogfight. This is not a breeze into the playoff scenario with the Red Sox. It's going to be a fight.
Red Sox go to Florida. They get swept by one of the best teams in baseball. Yankees go to Florida. They sweep one of the worst teams in baseball. I mean, obviously, that means the Yankees are better than the Red Sox.
Schedule people.
The wild card game for the Red Sox will be interesting to see who they chose. If there was like a Eovaldi Sale piggyback situation, when most of these other teams kind of have a guy. Yankees obviously have a guy. The Blue Jays, I think, might have found their guy.
This just fell.
This is how I know that I'm stupid and dumb and my delusional heart's been hooked. You say the word wild card game, I squeam because I think the Yankees are going to be in it now. They're 2.5 out of Oakland. They have an easier schedule. They're playing good ball. Most importantly, they're pitching really, really well. They still didn't score any runs against Miami, but Miami's got good pitching. And I've decided I don't care if I'm being delusional. I am going to get swept up. And
we're Yankees fans.
Yeah, we're Yankees fans. And just the wild card word, you just saying it, who are the Red Sox going to pitch and having to make those decisions and live through that, I'm getting squeamish just thinking about the fucking wild card. We're 2 months away. I hate the wild card, man. It's so good for baseball in a sneaky, weird way.
Disgusting.
It's
a hard attack.
There's a comment in the chat.
Yeah.
By Living Dead 31. I think Gallo and Rizzo being here gives Judge more competitiveness to be like, hey, I'm still here. And that's 100% true. He likes that he has some weapons beside him for sure. But there's also that alpha male, competitiveness that comes out. Like he said, hey, I know these guys are good and they're the talk of the town right now, but I'm still here. That's good for everybody. And I think Rizzo, in particular, and Gallo too. They have that mentality. They're going to go in. If that was a sleepy clubhouse, if people were just mulling around doing nothing, that's not going to fly with these guys. I think both those guys, even stepping into a clubhouse like the Yankees, they'll go and say, let's go. Let's pick the energy up here. It's time. We got how many games back are we? Let's go make these freaking games up now. I love what both those guys have brought.
I have something of note.
Rizzo standing ovation, by the way.
I'll be there tonight.
Right. Gallo too. You
think so? Okay.
And it also helps with those guys on the Yankees, which I know they're in a league, but we're here. A couple games ago, Rob Brantley was batting 6th. And now they've got
shout out Rob.
Gary down there and other guys. So that their talent helps a lot too.
Red Sox and Blue Jays this weekend have 4 games against each other, so that's going to be fun to circle. One team is pitching so well, and the other team is not pitching well. The Red Sox first are going to go play 3 against the Tigers, and this isn't going to happen because they've already lost 4 in a row, and the Red Sox aren't going to lose 7 in a row, but Tigers haven't swept anyone in a while.
Get fat on the Tigers, or try to, Red Sox.
Yeah. Get fat on the Tigers. That's old hunting quote. Tribal days.
That's Ace Ventura type stuff.
Yes. Old hunting quote.
I don't know what I'm talking about. Blue Jays, though.
Blue Jays are pitching good, man. It's cool to see that.
I'm a liking.
You like?
I love Berrios there. He looks so good. I know I've already mentioned I'm doing this, but I was just going over the game and like some of the pitches he was making. He's got the 2-seam and his slider, and they just go. And he made one pitch against this guy. I won't spoil the episode, but it hurt me to watch this.
Little X effect there.
I watched his highlights, and I don't know if it was a changeup or what, because I saw one changeup that went out of the zone, and then I saw one that dropped. So I don't know if that was like a split or another change. But Berrios' taster reel can go toe to toe with a couple guys.
And he's 27 years old, and I believe he's going to pitch till he's 40. Like, that's what he wants to do. He keeps his body in shape. Like, he's one of those dudes. I love this guy, man.
In Berrios' start, the Red Sox, the entire lineup, they sat Vladdy, like we said. The entire lineup got on base. Everyone got a hit besides Biggio, but he walked, obviously. So pretty good effort by the Blue Jays. Who do they go on to play before they play the Red Sox? Checking. We'll have it.
Looking.
Indians, 4 against the Indians.
Go get them. They want to lose. They're at 500 right now. Once you get south of that 500, Cleveland, there might not be no turning back.
Anything else in the AL? The Rays also don't have like any starters. They have McClanahan and Yarby. McClanahan's pitching really well.
Patino had a good outing too, man. By the time the playoffs get here, I think we'll say the Rays have pitching. They have the best ERA in the AL.
White Sox doing it. Kimbrel at the back end. I think he finished 2 games, or at least he pitched in 2 games. No base runners. That bullpen is an absolute beast. I think the White Sox are one of those teams we're going to be like, oh, yeah. Like, when the playoffs start and, like, you see them in that lineup and what they're running out there, you're like, holy shit. Like, we knew they were good, but we kind of just, like, put them off to the side because they've been running away with the Central Division. We don't talk about them that much because there isn't, like, this intrigue. But they're getting healthy again. They got Eloy back. They made a trade.
When are they going to get tested? Like, when's
playoffs?
Are they not?
Yeah,
do they not have? Do they play? I mean, the Yankees.
They have a Yankee series coming up. Trev, what you're saying is, I think when we get to the AL playoffs and you put it all down on paper, you put their top 3-4 starters and you put the lineup down and the bullpen, the White Sox are the best team in the AL, but we just haven't seen them done it. So.
All right. The White Sox have a good stretch coming up of nice test baseball. No, well, they have easy. They have Royals, Cubs, Twins, so that's 3 easy series for them. Then they do have Yankees, who are fighting, like actively, like scratching and clawing to win. White Sox are obviously better than the Yankees. And then they have Oakland, same situation. Then they have Tampa Bay. Then they have Toronto. Toronto might be out of it by that point or still fighting and clawing, but that'll be a good stretch for the White Sox just to see them play. They still have a losing record against teams that are above 500. So Yankees, Oakland, Tampa, Toronto, all above 500. So that'll be a nice little run for them and fix that record.
In September, they also have A's, Red Sox, Angels might fake be alive still, back to back to back. So
still,
probably not.
You have the Angels alive now?
No, but they might be trying really hard. Reds at the very end of the year if they're still
could
alive,
also be
even
like
our good friend
sitting Ohtani to save him for next year.
Yeah.
Deal.
Oh, it could go anywhere.
Even our good friend Nate admitted that they're pretty much done.
They traded stud
after yesterday,
Heaney making his start today in the Bronx.
Yeah.
Their White Sox last series of the year is Reds, that could be a very important series for the Reds.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited for that stretch for the White Sox.
No, they play the Tigers again after. I forgot it bleeds to October.
Angels lost 3 out of 4 to the Athletics, and that's obvious. The Athletics are a better team. Reid Detmer's made his debut. Big-time draft pick out of Louisville. Drafted last year, so he took the express route and being on the Angels. But I'll root for him. I'll root for a kid.
Sounds like you're not rooting for him.
What are you talking about?
I'm rooting for him. I own some of his baseball cards.
Trev's definitely rooting for him.
That was the definition of rooting for him.
Sounded like you were being forced to root for him.
No.
I'll root for a kid.
Hey,
I'll root for him.
I saw Fletcher play in person.
Wow.
It was pretty fun. It's pretty fun. You get an appreciation for a guy like that if you go watch in person. Like I think he made an error in the game too, but he also made like a couple of really nice defensive plays and just kind of like one of those guys that's all over the field. Liked him. Liked watching.
What a
him
ball
play.
player does. 2.5 WAR this year for Fletch.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Hot.
You want to talk about LaRusse, TLR?
Yeah, that was
TRL, Total Request Live?
That's a meme. He memed
Yeah.
himself with the run.
The run, and then when his coach is holding him back, and like,
What was he doing? Roberto Perez was like, "Are you okay? Like, come
he
here."
was
guys."
yelling at. I'm making the breakdown now. He was yelling at Roberto Perez for calling a high inside pitch when Karinchak clearly had no control that inning and was missing high. I kind of get it. I obviously don't just yell at the catcher there, but that's what he was saying. Like, because Perez at one point goes, "Well, you yelling at me?" He says, "Yeah, you called that pitch," because Karinchak had missed the last couple pitches high. So he's like, "Don't call up and in when the dude's wild high." That's what he said in his post game. He's like, "No, it's not intentional. I know it's not intentional. I just think it's really bad pitch calling, and you have to be more careful and understand when a pitcher is missing the zone high that you cannot call up and in." He's like, "I say the same thing to our pitchers all the time." So I don't know. I mean, it looks. He's good for the clubhouse. You hear Lance Lynn saying he
Defending his
loved
guys.
it. He defended his guys. That shit still plays. Lance Lynn was like, "I loved it. I think he did a great job. He was high kneeing out there." So sure, we laugh, but I do think that shit matters.
Free Britney.
Well, he better start doing shit like that because he's pulled a lot of dumb stuff early in the season. So I think he's really trying to go all out now. Like, guys, I got you.
Dude, I think it's who he is. Like, I don't think he can control that. I don't think it's calculated.
Old dogs learn new tricks.
God, when I'm old, I'm just so curious. Like, am I going to be like that?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I'm probably going to hate all young people.
Yeah.
I feel like he secretly hates every single young person that's playing because he's just like, damn, I used to be, that guy or whatever. Well, he wasn't really.
He really?
His playing career, not hot, right?
If I make it to being old and you want to be mean to me, Trev, send me a printer.
Let me do that now.
Yeah.
I don't understand that.
Me and printers don't get along.
Hey, Ashland said she was going to fucking hammer a printer one day, and she never did it. So
Okay.
We got a hammer and a
Soft,
printer at the office,
Ashland.
Ashland.
Called out.
The White Sox third base
Soft.
coach really got off the hook because
Joe McEwing.
Super Joe.
he was running and he looked pretty old in the way he was moving. I think that would have been highlighted. But LaRusse doing the I got a shit and I'm in the mall run.
Is it still McEwing?
I think so.
Yeah, Super Joe.
Him and I have a good relationship. Obviously, I played third base, so saw him a lot. And I always make fun of him because he has, nowadays, third base coach has got to know all the cool handshakes. So he's just not like inherently that cool. But dude, you got to play the game.
Joseph Earl.
So he's got to know all the jumps. He's got to do all this stuff.
He's only 48.
not as
Maybe
easy
he
as
was
you
just
think.
running because he was like running gingerly. But he's full gray like me. But yeah, he was running all weird too. Joseph
I like
Earl
Joe.
McEwing isn't cool. Is that what you're saying?
No, he's a nice guy. But like, dude, he's not like he doesn't know how
Not a
to
swagger guy.
He's not hip.
whatever,
Not a swag guy.
like.
LaRusse
But
likes him.
he's had to learn.
Play every position.
Jake was impressed with my ability to dap people up the other day at Yankee Stadium. I said I'd just let them do whatever they want with my
Yeah.
hand and walk away.
Jimmy lets them puppet it.
Yep. It's full puppet.
You give the dead fish and just
No, I give a
take
little bit of life that it doesn't feel dead, but whatever they're going to do, my hand's going to do.
My advice for handshakes
Listen, everyone.
is slow it down. Like people, when they get into trouble, they go too fast. What you're saying, Jim, like you let people do. You gotta just go and feel it. Like don't assume it's going to happen a certain way. Just feel the vibe with it. Slow it down a little bit, and then everything works out. And it's never bad to go here, clinch, and you can give a snap if you want.
Welcome.
That ends the whole
Look at
thing.
me.
Welcome-
I think
Trust
I'm
me, bro.
snapping.
You're
Welcome
laughing.
to Sex with
You're
Trev.
laughing.
Trev,
You're
The
laughing.
pandemic
That's
helped me out a
that's
lot
young
because all I
man's
do is
move.
I just go like this early.
Bones are good.
Early.
Just throw up the knucks.
Like, because when we were like, you shake so many people's hands, I almost need hand sanitizer on me now.
And most people just
Well, shaking a hand is different than dapping up. It's a whole different thing.
Most people
Yeah,
just
one of them I
engulf
can
my
do
hand.
and one I can't.
swallowed.
All right.
That's
Okay.
the AL, yeah.
That's the AL. Let's go to the IL.
Yeah.
Jake, what happened?
Wow, Los Gigantes, two of the best teams in baseball locked up. The Houston Astros went to the San Francisco Giants. Gabe Kapler's San Francisco Giants, and the Giants take 2 out of 3. They dropped the first one. Valdez versus Gossman. There's a future World Series matchup. 9-6. And Jim, I think these Giants heard you talking. They get Greinke. Game 2, they win 8-6. Oh, I get the end music from last time. Jakey Leftovers. Wow. We do all that sex
fast
and
enough.
handshake talk, and that's what you get. Both teams hit this series. Giants 327. Houston had 7 home runs. Yuli Gurriel, Chris Bryant homers in his first game as a Giant. Boy, does it seem like he fits in there with the San Fran vibes. And they hooked it up. They gave them a ton of swag. San Fran, kind of a model organization. We'll circle back on that. Brandon Belt and Tommy La Stella could be coming back soon. Oh, my God. Twins and Cardinals lock up for 3, and the Cardinals take 2 out of 3 from the Twins because they have to. 5-1 Cards, 8-1 Twins, 7-3 Cards with Waino on the bump in the rubber match. That Cardinals starting pitcher stat about the fastballs is ridiculous. We'll probably talk about that in a second. Molina passes Pujols for 4th most hits in Cardinals history. How about that? Tommy Dupax, Tommy Edman with a big double. Yankees, Marlins, we already talked about Trev's Pinstripers a little bit. And what did they do? They striped some fish, babe. Yankees sweep. They bust out the broomsticks. First time since mid-June. 3-1 Yanks, fortitude, as the Yanks show fortitude in Game 2. And 3-1 in the finale. They got a little help from the fish in the last game. Appreciate you, Brian Anderson. But some good pitching performances. Tyone, pitcher of the month in the AL in July. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Alcantara for the Marlins. If you don't know him, know who he is because he's pretty awesome. Luke Voit beginning a rehab excitement. And, man, H to the Rizzo, Tony Meatballs was so huge for the Yankees this series. He's selling jerseys, babe. And that's what went on in the interleague.
Is that his nickname, Tony Meatballs?
We knew a guy that one of our friends called Tony Meatballs, and that name plays anywhere.
Oh, it's a famous mobster.
But there's a lot of Paisan jokes flying around the Bronx right now with Rizzo and Gallo.
Mm-hmm.
Storielli.
Tony Meatballs is a real guy. I think so. It's a playoff ham. I think probably a lot of Italians had it, but famous mobster named Tony Meatballs. I think from Philadelphia.
Our friend used to call a guy Tony Meatballs because his friend was fat.
Tony Meatballs, Philly guy.
I don't mind that. I don't mind the nickname.
Yeah.
Trev, we already talked about your Yanks. Anything else you need to know or put out there?
Let me go back to these games. I'm just working on my award. I got it figured
Huge.
out now. Twins and Cardinals. Twins and Cardinals is kind of a who cares series.
Cardinals
huh?
want you to care.
Which is crazy to think. Those were 2 teams. I mean, I had both of them winning the division. Not even close.
I'm going to do it one more time because then I'm not going to do it again. Why did they trade for Happ?
Well, because they needed a flamethrower.
Yeah, he's now the fastest. Haps has the fastest fastball in the Cardinals.
If you don't know the tweet I was referencing, they traded for Lester. His average fastball is 89. Wainwright, 89.5. Kim, your guy, Jim, at least he throws underhand, 88.9. LeBlanc is 87.7. So Jay Happ is currently the only starting pitcher on that team with a fastball over 90, and it's It's not much over 90, and it's his only pitch. So
90.3, right?
holy smokes, do they need Jack Flaherty back and a 12-game win streak.
Yeah. It's tough. I do want to talk about Astros.
Dude,
Giants.
why did they trade for Hap? Why'd they give stuff up for him,
Stop, Jim. Don't worry about
Like
it. This is
Lester
and Lester.
Remember, but Lester had flip a coin, he'll give you a good start. Like, do you know how many good starts Jay Happ's had on the year?
None. Twins
think they're
fans
all
were
eight.
so mad. And then they were so happy that they got, like, Twins Twitter
4.
could not believe they actually got something for Hap. Like, they were celebrating the front office. Like, you got something for this guy?
Yeah.
So that's kind of where that whole scenario
that's where
is
I'm
laid
at.
out right now. Yeah.
It's on
No offense
Change
to
of
Jay Happ. He's had a great
scenery.
career, but this year is not great.
year. Yeah, not great. Yeah. I mean, he's had 5 good games.
Change of scenery.
Astros-Giants, great baseball. Weird colors, like, because they're like the same but not the same. So that was really weird for me to watch.
You don't like
that.
when
like visually.
You don't like
didn't
when
love
2
it.
orange teams play each other?
No, don't like that. But the baseball was really good.
Rank these
think-
jerseys. Orioles, Tigers, Astros, Giants.
Giants number 1, classic, nice, beautiful uniform. Then I would go Orioles. I do like the Orioles uniforms a lot. And then what are the other 2? Astros, and who?
Tigers.
Astros, then Tigers. I hate the
Really?
Tigers.
Too many belt loops.
I really do. Too many belt loops. They don't do it for me at all.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
Listen to these names that were standouts for the Giants. Darren Ruff, 6 hits, 3 extra base hits. Solano, 6 hits, home run. Yostremski, 3 extra base hits with a home run. These guys are all just like come out of nowhere players.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're doing, man. We say this all the time. I don't get it. I've talked to people. I still don't get it. They're like Rays-ish with finding people right now to like just fill in and perform. I mean, we've given them a lot of credit, I guess, but to me it seems like I keep saying Dodgers are going to catch the Giants, and they're going to win the division, but the Giants just keep winning, dude.
Well, I saw someone in the chat said it. I mean, you compared them to the Rays. Gabe and their GM, don't they both have Dodger roots, right? Like, didn't they help build that up? So
Sure.
there's another comp for you. I mean, they did it with Muncy and
Well, the Rays sent basically their front office
Right.
to the Dodgers, and then it's a Rays tree. It really is. All the good coaches and front office executives are basically all from the Rays, which is wild.
Rays up.
Their pitching's good.
Rays freaking up.
I'm interested to see. Did Gossman pitch?
I think Gossman had a bad day.
Better than his last one, but 4.1, 3 earned runs, 1 home run. He did strike out 9.
This was a hitting series a little bit.
It's
Both
actually
teams hit.
that line is actually on the road to like betterness from his last 2. That's good. But yeah, it was a lot of hitting. I mean, Framber only went 5.
Both teams hit 7 homers, 3 games, excuse me.
Oh, and Gossman recovered from a bad first inning.
In there.
Wow. Good for him. Yeah, I'm interested to see how the Giants do it. I mean, yeah, you're right, Trev. Like, we still kind of brush over them. But I don't know how, because there's too many. I don't know how to properly like give them credit, because I can't point to anything, because it's the pitching, obviously.
It's the
but
Rays. It's like
just
the Rays.
too many
we don't know
pieces
how to. We don't
that
know
are
how
all
to.
helping.
Yeah.
Contribute. Trev, you're drinking a little Yankees Kool-Aid. We obviously are.
The starters have been good. That's the only reason I'm drinking the Yankees Kool-Aid, is because Tyone just won Pitcher of the Month in the AL.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Like, that obviously helps. Cole's been good. Like, I thought the spin stuff would affect him a lot. Like, I don't think it's affected him too much. When I watch him pitch, I'm still like, holy shit. So like that has to keep up. I think their offense is going to get better, and their pitching's probably going to improve because Anthony Rizzo's at first base. It's going to help the defense a ton.
He's going to be a huge difference maker on defense. They
And Gallo too.
Gallo too.
Yeah.
I'm still interested to see where they fully play him and how they utilize him, because DJ and Gio Urshela were like down, so they didn't have their full starting lineup. Tonight we should see something. I think we should see
DJ should be there.
I think
Probably not
DJ's
Gio.
back, not Gio.
Okay.
What's up with Britain? He's been having a tough go as of late. I saw some people saying stuff on Twitter.
He takes so long. We've seen this after he takes a long time to get into a rhythm and routine, and when he's not, it's just wild. So, but it doesn't hurt to put a guy in first because he gets ground balls at an 80% rate. So I think he's in his last 3 outings, he's put someone on and then instantly they get doubled off.
His last couple starts, I know yesterday he kind of threw all balls, but it didn't feel bad. Maybe other people disagree, but it felt fine.
I've got a little bit of a yellow up. I gotta see some more. And his fastball velo is down a couple miles per hour, which doesn't necessarily hurt as a sinker baller, but that just says something about where your arm's at and stuff. So interested to see.
He's pitched in 6 games this season. He's pitched in 13 games this season. In 6 of them, he's induced a ground ball double play. And in all of the last 4 that he's pitched, he's gotten. So he gets someone. But that's how he always has been. I'm not really that worried about him. I think that he'll be locked in come in a little bit. I mean, we've seen this a couple years ago.
In his first game this series when he gave up the run, it was I think there was a weird bloop, and was that when Glaber had an error? I think it was that inning. So there's a little funny business in his bad game this series.
Has Cole, someone in the chat just said is that almost a 5 ERA since the beginning of the sticky ban? So maybe I'm completely off. I've seen a few of his good starts then and maybe not
the Rays jumped him pretty good his last start.
That's true.
He's had a couple starts that were nothing,
earnings?
but he's had some dominant starts, so I think the overall number's probably fine. But there's been a couple bad.
He has to be lights out for them to.
Yeah, he's got a 4.28 since the sticky stuff ban. But, I mean, he's got a complete game shutout in there.
Against
Houston. He's got an 8 innings pitched, 200 run in there. He's also got a really bad start against the Rays. So it's not like he's got a 4.28 and there hasn't been signs of his ability to pitch without it. It's just been.
Dude, your tweet about Rizzo and how all the uncles are sitting there like, I like that Rizzo guy. That's so spot on.
Yeah.
So fucking spot on.
I know. Some people were trying to look way deeper into it. Like one guy was like, so you don't like him? I'm like, what? No, I'm just saying, I was sitting on my couch. I'm an uncle.
You are the uncle. Exactly.
And he got a hit, and I just said, damn, I like this guy.
That's where Gallo's got to find the porch soon because everyone's going to love Rizzo. Personality, power, hits it the opposite way, defense. Gallo got to find the
Gallo's
porch a little bit.
Gallo's always confident, and you guys know why.
Oh, yeah.
Penis?
We need to move on.
Let's move on.
What's next?
Let's go to some individual awards. They're going to be brought to you by our good friends over at DraftKings, my favorite sportsbook, but also America's top-rated sportsbook. The Olympics are still going on. The athletes are competing. Trevor's been watching closely, and he is upset with America's medal count, but they are winning medals. And if you want to bet on America to win more medals, you can. You can bet $1 and you'll get $1,000 back minus or divided by 10 because it's only 100. So you get $100 back in free credits, and you can bet those on whatever you want. You just got to download the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code JOMBOY when you sign up to turn $1 into $100 in free credits if America wins a medal. That's code JOMBOY to turn $1 into $100 in free credits for a limited time. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Must be 21 or older, New Jersey, Indiana, or PA only. New customers only. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER in Indiana. 1-800-9-WITH-IT. Good job. Good job, Jimmy. Good job on the ad read.
By the way, the medal count, China is first in gold medals with 29. U.S. has 22. But the overall medal count, U.S. still has the advantage 64 to 62.
Now, do you care about that?
Big lead in the silver. I do.
Do you think?
I do. I want America to be dominant at the Olympics.
Okay, so if America was winning the gold medal count but losing the total medal count, would you care about the total medal count?
I care more about the gold medal count, yes.
So then you need to pick it up. That's what you're saying.
They need to pick it up.
So you're not happy with
they're
medal
second
count.
in that. I think there's some events coming that they could win. USA Baseball lost the heartbreaker this morning
Well,
to
my
Japan
dude Tanaka.
Yeah.
in extra innings. Well, because we'll talk about this just for a second.
Just for a second.
The rules, the extra inning rules, are basically like what we have here, except first and second. So it's very much a can you bunt them over type situation. And of course, Japanese baseball players, like that's still like a fundamental they teach in Japan. In the U.S., we don't bunt. So that kind of play is not suited for Team USA. So Japan won. Hats off. Tanaka.
Hey, you got 3 shots to hit a 3-run homer.
Trev.
He's younger than Jacob deGrom. What's up with that?
With what?
He's
Tanaka.
coming back. The Yankees
thought
dicked
that.
him around, and there was still COVID shit. Tanaka chucked up the deuces. I'm out of here, bro.
Love it.
Trev, can I ask you a question?
Hot.
I remember saying I wanted to ask you this back when it happened. Extra innings or ninth inning, whatever. There was a runner on second, no outs. Boone said Gleyber bunted over the runner, and then they did win on a sac fly. But after the game, Boone said that he gave Gleyber Torres one shot, one swing to move him over with a hit or hit a home run or a double. But after that, he had to bunt him over. I think he said one pitch, not one swing. Swing?
I think swing.
Okay, so what would you, as a player, would you hate that? Would you appreciate that? Because I'm genuinely curious. Like, if you go up there, it seems like a lot of pressure filled on that one swing, but I think the thought process is that it's nice to give it.
I think it depends when it is. Were they? This was this weekend.
Like last weekend.
Were they? I think if you're the home team and it's like the bottom of the ninth, I'd
They were
rather
home, yeah.
if you're going to say you give me one swing, I'd rather just bunt the whole time. Because if you say you take that swing, you foul it off, now you have to bunt with one strike. Like it's a whole different ball game. So I'd rather have like a set plan up there. I still do believe in bunting a guy over late in the games, especially when you're tied and you're looking to win a game. But the reason they don't do it is because they don't practice it, man. It's fucking hard to bunt. You know, if you don't know how to bunt, you go ahead and try to bunt a reliever throwing 98 at you. Like it's not easy. But I hate that he gave him one swing. That doesn't. If you're gonna let him swing once, you just let him have the at bat.
People were applauding it, and I immediately didn't like it. I thought, like, just do it or don't do it. Like, you know.
It sounds like a very old school thing to do. Like I'm sure Boone probably had that given to him many times during his career, and he's just like carried it over. Like, but he has to realize that
Sounds like an
nobody
old
bunts
high
anymore.
school
So
coach.
you either give
I'm
him
gonna give you
all
one
the
shot,
chances,
son.
or you take
Player
it away from him
empowerment,
completely.
baby.
You don't get it done your way, you have to do it my way.
Player empowerment.
Okay.
I also like bunting with 2 strikes. So how about that?
You liked bunting with 2
Rod
strikes?
Carew. Check out. I mean, I do. If you're gonna bunt, take all 3 strikes. Don't bunt twice and then be 0-2 and then just strike out. Like just try to bunt again.
Appreciate it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Trev, you lead off. You lead off with standout performance.
Yes, this is a guy who has been getting some attention, but we don't talk about him too much. I'm going to go in with Jonathan India, number 1. Excellent name. You can remember that name all the time. So that's good for him. Good brand recognition there. He goes 3 for 4 with 2 homers, a double. So that's 3 extra base hits and a walk. That's a game right there. And on the year, our guy, a rookie. I didn't know this. He was drafted 5th overall by the Reds out of University of Florida. Hitting 277. He's got his OBP up to 401. Elite territory for a 24-year-old to be doing that. He's a lot of fun to watch. Our mansplaining girls think he's a hot boy too. So it's like he's got the hair and like he kind of like has a little bit of it all. So I'm rooting for Jonathan. He's been on our radar for a little bit, but finally I think he'll be happy to know that he gets a standout performance award on Talkin' Baseball. Congratulations.
It's huge
Jonathan.
for him.
Huge.
Yeah. And you like this, Jonathan Joseph. 2 first names.
JJ India.
Yeah.
John Joe. John Joe's pretty fun.
Joe.
John Joe.
So shout out, man. Hot boy can get on base at a 400 clip.
I like it.
I'm a looking, and I'm a liking.
My standout performance is a guy who became the first player in big league history to hit his first 3 career home runs in the same game. Seby Zabala of the White Sox. 4 for 4 with 3 home runs. How about that? And a fun name, Seby Zabala.
Incredible name.
Actually made his debut and got his first big league hit in 2019. He was, you know what's even more fun about this story a little bit? The Tony La Russa game when he got ejected and Berrios got hit in the head. They were trying to have Seby Zabala lay down a bunt. As a runner got on, they're trying to move him over. He stole second base, and then on the first pitch, ball 1, the runner stole second, didn't get the bunt down. It was a ball. Then pitch number 2, Seby tries to get the bunt down again. It's a ball, and no. Sorry. It was pitch number 2, stole second, threw it away. Runner goes to third. Now you have the runner on third, no outs, 2-0 count. They just pinch hit for Seby. He got the bat taken out of his hands with a runner, go-ahead run on third, no outs, and a 2-0 count. Like a situation that he's thinking, I can perform here. But Tony La Russa and the White Sox say, no, we're going to bring Collins in because we think he's got a better chance of hitting the ball in the air or getting this done with the 2-0 count. We just liked you to bunt. Pretty rude. Kind of like probably a mood killer, right, Trev?
Ridiculous. Yeah, like that's when you walk into the office and say, WTF.
Like, yeah, you kind of embarrassed me out there.
100%.
Yeah.
3 homers, though.
So that was game 1. And then game 2 he played, and then the next game he played, he gets 4 hits, and he gets 3 home runs. Like, all right, don't take me out of this one. Look what I could have done if you let me in. Would have just hit a home run. He takes Tristan McKenzie deep on a 2-2 pitch. Then he hits a grand slam on a 2-0 pitch. There's his 2-0 pitch. Wow. So good for him. Seby.
First player ever.
First player ever that hit his first 3 home runs on the same day. We were just talking about how, guys, we haven't had a 3 home run day in a while.
The hitters showed out this whole ep, Jim. Great standout performance. Love the name. And anytime you're a first in MLB history, that's pretty impressive. I'm doing a late audible on my standout. I had my guy Hot Boy Dansby. I had some numbers up, what he's done. Take out April, and he's been an 8-something OPS, yada, yada, yada. 7 ribeye steaks. We're both from Vandy. Sorry, Dansby, because I thought someone was going to take Jonah Heim, give Heim some time. Not that guy. Jonah Heim, Jim, he has a 2-homer day, and one of those homers was a walk-off to win the game 5-4. Man, he was a piece. Talk about we love a little baseball journey. 2016, traded for Steve Pearce. How about that? 2017, traded for Joey Wendell. And then this offseason, he was part of the Elvis Andrus trade. And so he is in Texas. He hits the walk-off, 2 homers in that game. And by the way, if I'm sneaking him bonus points, he hit the walk-off home run in the next game. Jonah Heim back-to-back walk-off homers. That's a good time. I guess he rates out really well defensively this year. Good for you, kid. 26 years old from Buffalo. I'm the king of Buffalo. Jonah Nathan Heim. Maybe an early settler name.
Oh, no. I don't think so. I don't think a lot of... It's mostly Christians.
Jonah Heim?
I think most early settlers were Christians.
Look into it.
The Puritans traded twice, huh?
Isn't Jonah in the Bible?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
First Bible. Jonah Heim's a very Jewish name, right? I don't think a lot of Jewish people were in the early settlers. There was
Norwegian.
A A lot of Puritans.
Nor-
Yeah, I don't think the settlers were too fond of.
Yeah.
It's a
my
Norwegian
guys.
farming name.
I don't mean to be rude, but
It's a Norwegian farming name.
okay, Norwegian farming name, Jonah Heim.
Shout out Norway, man.
Is Trev ever coming back?
I'm guessing he's gonna just sit out through Slump Watch.
Oh, okay. Fine. See ya, Trev.
Which makes sense because we're here.
We're here. Let's crank.
Slump Watch. Let's see how many people we got off the list. We had 5, and we have 5 potential additions. BBD, who may we be adding?
It's actually my first time looking at it. Normally, I take a sneak peek earlier. Biggest offers of the week: David Peralta, 0 for 7, a walk, 2 Ks. Sounds like he didn't play all 3 games. Max Kepler, 0 for 10, 6 Ks. Michael Conforto, 0 for 7, a walk, and 4 Ks. Carlos Santana, 0 for 10, 2 walks, and a K. And David Dahl, our friend, 0 for 7. RBI mixed in there with the strikeout.
Yeah. On weekends, we might have to,
Extrapolate a little bit.
well, just take out guys who only played 2 games because
Like it's got to be at least.
sometimes during the weekday, they only have 2 games in the series, but
Right.
every team plays Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
And sometimes you can get to more ABs in 2 games. But
Well, good
It's
news
tough.
is Trent Grisham was on Slump Watch, and he stays because he put up an 0 for 12. He was one of those guys.
and he was 0 for 8 the series before.
So holy smokes, that's at least 0 for 20, math pod. So Trent Grisham is staying. Man. I guess on the other end of the spectrum, Mike Yostremski. He's getting off. 4 for 13, homer, 2 doubles, walk. Little pop there.
Yeah, 4 for 13. I like it.
Good job, Poppy. I don't know. Then we've got a couple up in the air, Jimmer.
Who else do we got?
Well, Adelise, 3 for 12, all 3 extra base hits.
Okay.
I kind of like
And with
that.
2 walks.
667
2 walks, too.
slugging.
He's clearly seeing the ball better.
I'm not going to clap for him, though.
I'll give
Get him off.
I'll golf clap him.
Get him
but-
off.
Oh, you know what? I'm
Not
going to
full
take Jose
claps.
Abreu off because he got hit in the head, and I feel bad for him.
Okay.
He got hit by pitch 3 times.
That's tough. 429 on base.
Hit by pitch 3 times.
That's a bad
Three at bat
feeling.
yeah,
pitches.
and I'm going to do a little
Off.
go get him, Jose.
3 RBIs
Dude,
in
he's-
the process, so presumably productive outs.
He's pretty badass. He stays in. He gets hit so often. He stays in the game all the time.
He does like a good stay-in, huh? I think this other guy stays. It was Tommy Pham. And right now in San Diego, we're fighting for playing time. And I saw Kim had a big game the other day. So I think we leave Tommy.
Kim had
They're
a big
fighting
game.
to keep their playoff
Yeah.
spot.
Is he going to be the shortstop?
We're fighting for playing time. They got some options. I don't know. Let us know, fathers. Father fans.
All right, so what's the final there?
So let's see. I think we add Kepler. He thought he was getting traded. He puts up an 0 for 10.
All right, hold on. I found a lot more offers. I don't know how our research department's doing this, but
Okay,
I mean, I just sorted guys that played all 3 games.
sure.
Max Kepler's a good one. He's on there.
He stays.
That's a clean
Yeah.
ad.
But Carlos Santana, he had 12 plate appearances. He went 0 for 10.
He's on the list.
He's
You're
on
right.
there.
list.
So he goes. So
Our
we need
dude,
one
Zach
more.
Short, who I think we're.
Oh, no.
But we're being nice by picking him up.
We're getting him off.
Okay. Michael A. Taylor, traded or on Kansas City. He goes 0
We
for.
can't have 2 Royals.
He goes 11 plate
Royals.
appearances, 0 for 9.
2 Royals feels silly.
Yeah.
At least 2 Padres. We know why we're watching them.
Verdugo. Is he still in a tough stretch? He went 1 for 11, 13 plate appearances.
Okay.
I'm willing to do it.
For Doogie's on. Because, yeah, it looked like he was coming out of it.
And Glaber, you can put Glaber on there too.
Well, we have 5. So if you want Glaber, who do you want to take out?
Let's see. Santana, Kepler, Pham, Grisham. You're keeping Pham on?
I think so. It's
I
important
think
to
he's
what they're
important to
doing.
watch.
Okay.
If
All
you,
right.
my vote would be to take Kepler off because he's no longer trade talk
And more
season.
Santana, right?
Yeah, I'd like to change it though. That like the 5 coming on
We'll
have
talk
to
to
have
Max after.
0 for 10.
Max is here.
All right, is Trev here? Verdugo, Santana, Kepler, Pham, Grisham. There he is. Sup, Trev?
Oh,
No audio? Can you hear us, Trevor Plouffe?
looks hot. Good beard.
And he's
There we
Thumbs up. He can hear us.
oh can't oh
Okay.
gotcha.
Okay.
All
we're
right, here we go.
live.
Dirt nasties on Fuego. That means I'm on fire, baby. Like Waco.
In Fuego, Rafael Ortega, Jonah Heim, Yadiel Hernandez, names that every baseball player knows by heart. George Springer, 6 for 11 with
Uh-oh.
2 homers. How do you say the first name here?
Aladmides, I believe. Aladmides. Aladmides? Does the M come before the D?
Aledmus.
Aledmus Diaz. Another name everyone knows. 5 for 13 with 3 homers. Miggy Caps.
Yep.
Wow. Did he ever need a hot stretch? He had 3 walks, 4 RBIs, 2 doubles, 2 homers, goes 6 for 11. Darren Ruff, 6 for 13 with 2 homers, 5 RBIs. Manny Machado picking up the slack with Tatis out, 6 for 14, 2 homers, 2 doubles. Yuli Gurriel, 7 for 13, and Wander Franco. His numbers were actually looking kind of like, I remember Trev tweeted out like, hey, it's tough. Like, give these, or maybe it was an award you gave out here. But now Wander's going off a little bit. 6 for 11 with 2 triples. Wow. How
Big
about
triples pod.
that? Yeah.
It's fair.
Good job.
What's his overall line on the year? Let me look that up. I don't even know.
Miggy Cabs, by the way, 497 in the dingers column. So we're a couple away from Miggy Cabs watch for 500. So that's fun.
Okay.
714 OPS for Wando, 305 on base percentage, 408 slugging. So it's still not overall good, but he jumped it all up. He was down to the 600s for a while.
Big series against
Yeah,
Boston.
he's already accumulated 1 more, so he's doing something defensively or on the base pass. Good for him.
You think hot take? I think he's gonna be good.
Can I do my thing with like the Miggy Cabs homer, 500 homers?
Sure.
Yeah.
It's because you hear it and you just don't know. Like that's so many. I mean, it's a lot, but you got to break it down. This is how I always do it. That's 10 straight years of 50 home runs. That's 20 straight years. God, I hope I'm doing this right. Of 25 home runs.
That's what I had to.
Just think about that, man. 50
What's
straight
his-
years of 10.
It's crazy. What's
Or-
his
yeah,
max?
That makes sense too, but he's 40 something.
44.
It's wild, man.
I mean,
You have to play for so long to put up those kind of numbers like that.
Lot of bold.
300 homers is a ton.
shortened season. And having that shortened season is in the middle there sucks. I mean, because over the last 1, 2, 3, 4 years, he's put up 40, 35.
Maybe the shortened season saved his legs for this year.
Well,
I mean, I'll-
he's
Spence?
having a pretty bad year.
I will tell my kids about the 2012 version of Mickey. I mean, it was. I think everybody has that player who like.
Why not
You remember it?
2013?
Which year was his? Because the Triple Crown was 2012. But yeah,
13.
all that whole little section, you could argue 2013 was a better year overall. Yeah, but it's just he was so scary when he came to play. Like you just knew he was going to do something. Like every single game he was locked in. He's playing baseball at a different level, man.
Pretty cool.
Crazy.
Speaking of,
Those numbers are fucking crazy.
Let's move on to awards, which are brought to you by the National Baseball Hall of Fame, a place Miggy Cabs might find himself at one point. Maybe he'll have a glove, from his Triple Crown season. That would make sense. Batting glove there. And then maybe if they do another season, it'll be featured. Because right now, Hall of Fame is doing a YouTube series called Hall of Fame Connections. Every Wednesday it drops on their YouTube channel, and it takes a look at a collection and artifact, a piece of history, and they tell a story about it, and two seemingly unrelated artifacts in the museum, how they connect. Which sounds great to me because I like baseball and I like history and I like stories and I like series a lot. I watch a lot of series. I'm pretty big into shows. Each two-part episode features both a narrative storytelling element that weaves through the history of some of the museum's most iconic artifacts. Support for the series was provided by Market New York grant through I Love New York State's Division of Tourism, as a part of the Regional Economic Development Council initiative. To stay up to date with the release of each episode of Hall of Fame Connections, follow the Baseball Hall of Fame social media channels at Baseball Hall on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Go check it out. Miggy Cabs, he'll be there.
Jared Miller pointed out that's 250 years of 2 homers. So imagine that.
Math pot all of
A lot
a
of
sudden.
service time.
That'd be impressive.
Math pot all of a sudden would be incredible. Incredible. One of the,
Some Tuck Everlasting stuff.
one of the ways I like to do it is, Miggy Cab's power area, which I think is 13 years, 04 to 16. He averaged, this is his average season, 155 games played, so that's pretty good, at a 323, 402, 968 OPS clip.
That's awesome.
That was an average year for him for 13 years.
Do you remember that one year they wanted to put him at third base and he took the ground ball off the eyeball in spring training? And they're like, he played a little bit over there. He wasn't that bad.
Fish?
Could the people in Tuck Everlasting grow their hair?
I'd have to rewatch it.
I don't know what that is.
Almost 700 career games at third.
Yeah, but this is like later.
Yeah,
this is
when
2014.
they sent him
15.
back there. Is that when they got
Tigers
Prince?
Cabs.
Trev, you get to go first. What's your award?
Yes.
Dog.
Yeah, so I sent out a tweet about this. Not a lot of traction on the tweet, so I'm going to double down on it because, why not?
Yeah.
My award is the Mercenary Baseball Award. It could be the best trade line ever award. I don't trade a deadline ever award.
Okay.
Because after this weekend, a lot of these guys, and I do Mercenaries, the way I've done it is you either have them just for this year or you get 1 year after this too. So look at all these names that have been doing stuff for their new team. Gibby goes to the Phillies, 6 2/3 innings, 2 earned runs, stops the slide. Anthony Rizzo, 5 for 9, 3 walks to go along with 2 home runs. Helps the Yankees sweep. Baez, not that great, 1 for 8, but he did have a home run. Bryant shows up, 1 for 4, gets the W, and hits a homer. Kimbrel, 2 innings pitched, 2 different games, no base runners at all. Berrios goes 6 innings shutty in his debut, and Starling Marte has 5 hits, and they go, I take whatever they took, 2 out of 3 from the Angels. I said it to you guys earlier. I don't know if this is good or bad for the game that these teams are unloading their good players. I'm not really sure. I'm sure if you're a fan of these teams, you're not happy. Cubs fans aren't happy. Nationals fans aren't happy. But it sure does make for like some fun, exciting August, September, and then playoff baseball when you have your team, you put yourself in a position to be a buyer, and then you go be a buyer. I think it's really fun. I didn't used to like this, but this year for some reason I'm really feeling these guys going to these new teams and just kind of helping out. And I don't know it's because we're doing this show and we talk about teams' strengths and weaknesses all the time, but it was really cool to see like these teams address some weaknesses, like the Yankees, super right-handed, go out and get 2 left-handed bats. And now we're going to see, I don't think it's to the basketball level where you're seeing super teams, because I don't think baseball you can really do this. Maybe the Dodgers, like if they had everybody could be a super team, I don't know, but it's really piqued my interest. This go around at the trade deadline. It used to be really against teams trading their players away, but maybe because I'm a fan now, it was awesome, man. And to see these guys go and do it and have an immediate impact. I mean, I just listed 7 or 8 guys right there. Big name freaking guys that went out and helped their ball clubs. So kudos to the teams that played well enough to be able to be buyers. And I think that should give some motivation to those teams that are on the fringe. Like we say it all the time, man. You got to put yourself in that position to be a buyer. So shout out, Giants and Yankees and all these teams that made moves to make themselves better. It's a lot of fun to watch.
I love the term mercenary baseball. I apologize that tweet didn't go off. I think as soon as I saw it, we were doing Talking Yanks live, and I read it. I said I love it, and I think it's good for baseball. Take the stars and sprinkle them around. Get
The Cubs
Trout,
clip that
get
we
Trout
had
on a
early
loan
was
program.
awesome.
What's that? The Cubs.
I wouldn't mind that, the loan program. Trout, Ohtani. No team would ever do this, obviously, because risk of injury, but how cool would that be? How much would you pay? How much would a team freaking pay to get Trout?
What if it was just a loan? Like the Angels get him back starting next year.
They get him,
But they have to give up. They have to give out
pay?
prospects for good. That'd be
That's-
funny.
That's the only thing that NBA has wrong right now, because at least you're trading for goods and serves. There's prospects going, and who knows if anyone becomes anything. The NBA right now, the only thing that drives me nuts is guys can just kind of like Griffin tapped out in Detroit. They released him, and he went to the Nets, and there's nothing exchanged, and it's just that's kind of cool come playoff time because you get more talent on the court. But baseball, yeah, man. Instead of someone, just Schwarbo going for 35 dingers on the Nats for no reason, he'll be in Boston, hopefully playing important games.
The
What
Dodgers.
would your monetary value be on that? For Trout, a monetary value. You get him for August and September in the playoffs.
I think it'd be like a top
mil.
monetary
20
value.
mil.
Oh, I was.
Let's say you cover the full year's salary on him or something. For a guy like Trout who's already on
That'd be
a
fun.
big deal.
That'd be fun. That's a good idea. Let's talk about that. We'll call the Players Association and
Tony.
MLB, yeah.
You talked
Your
about
guys throwing around.
You
the
talked about how the
country.
Dodgers might have the biggest, super team. They still might have the most drafted players on their team as well. I think
They got dudes.
they got Will Smith, Seager, Belly, Bueller, Kershaw. A lot of their studs are still.
Yeah.
Or
They can develop
Turner
players.
and Max Muncy, who were almost reclamation projects. They
They're
have
Dodgers property.
what's that?
They're Dodgers property at this point.
Yeah, they didn't go pay for
100%.
them.
They count for the Dodgers.
Yeah. So it's pretty crazy. All right. My award
Chop, chop.
is the You Broke award.
You broke.
Yeah.
Who's broke?
You broke, Jim.
MLB system for drafting and slot money and offers is still broke. This Kumar Rocker situation is so weirdo. I'll streamline the bullet points for everyone. Kumar Rocker was getting passed on at the draft because people were concerned with his MRI and his medicals. Now, he's a Boris client. They did their own MRIs with their own doctors, and they said that he's 100% healthy and came up clean. He got selected for pre-draft MRI by MLB, but he opted not to do it. A lot of players, majority of good players, don't. And I was learning this yesterday on Twitter. I was asking people, can you help me explain this? A lot of players don't do the pre-draft MRI because it can really only hurt you. It can, something you may not even know that you have may show up, and now teams are going to offer you less money because of it. If you think you're healthy or know you're healthy, you just shouldn't do it. So you should go get MRIs on your own, know that they're clean, and then just waive the pre-draft so they can't be held against you. That's what they did. But if you do that, if you do not do the pre-draft MRI, then the team that drafts you, if they find something wrong with their medicals, they get compensated with a pretty equal value pick in next year's draft. So the Mets either knew this was happening or they just did a whole bunch of audibles when they did their draft because either they didn't think they'd be able to get Kumar Rocker with the 10th pick overall. He falls to 10. They grab him. Maybe they had no idea, so they didn't do their own research. This is choosing to believe the ignorance of the Mets here. They just didn't know. They're like, why is he slipping? We'll take him. We got him. Medicals can't be that bad. they get now. You have to offer the slot, which I think is $6 million or $4 million for him,
I think.
and then you have to offer 40% to get compensated. You know, if you offer 40% of the slot and the player does not take it, then MLB says, "Oh, that sucks for you. That player just wanted to go back to college. You wasted a draft pick. Here's a compensation pick." Because he didn't do the pre-draft MRI, they don't even have to offer anything, and they get the compensation pick. So the Mets saw the medicals, got so scared that from what they saw, or realized, well, if we don't offer him anything, we just get the 11th pick next year. So I don't know what happened here. Either his medicals are bad, and they don't think he'll be good like in return, and that's kind of what Cohen tweeted. Tweeted was like, draft prospects are worth 5 times their return if they make it to the big leagues. Like, you know, we're not going to not offer that. Kind of saying that they think they're really bad, which is fucked up because now Kumar's in a terrible spot. He has to either go back to college or he has to go play independent ball or in a foreign league somewhere. He cannot enter MLB baseball or minor leagues in any other way than the 2022 draft. So now he gets a year older, less time to be part of a system, and he has to enter the draft again next year. The Mets, they get compensated. They burn like $1 million, but they get the 11th pick next year no matter what. Something's broken here. I have no idea the fix. Not smart enough, but you know, either the Mets could have thought, hey, well, why don't we just get him? If the medicals are really bad, we just get the 11th round pick next year. If the medicals aren't that bad, we'll just sign him for a little less than we want because the medicals are still somewhat bad. So it seemed like, I don't know if the Mets were being opportunistic or poorly run and ignorant, but somehow the Mets aren't really that hurt here. And Kumar Rocker's pretty damaged for a year, and the projection here. So, and I don't even get it because Walker Buehler had Tommy John like as soon as he got drafted, and now he's fucking going to win Cy Young this year. So it's still not even that bad if the whole system's broken.
I think this is a Mets problem. I think that I don't know. They panicked. I don't understand. Because you said, even if he has to have TJ, every pitcher has TJ now. Every single pitcher basically has TJ. And like our buddy Foolish Baseball pointed out, you pay $6 million for a talent that was projected to go 1 overall at the beginning of the season, had a good summer in college baseball. You get him for $6 million, and you have rights over him for 10 years. So, like, where is the bad investment in that? Like, I don't really understand that. Like, does he have no like UCL? Like, is it just completely gone? I don't know what it situation is. It's unless something like that comes out, I think the Mets screwed this one up. Because not only did they not give him that money and have control of him for forever, basically, which is, in my opinion, the more fucked up situation of how long teams have control of players, but they also could have made like one of those flyer picks at the end, maybe like a high school guy who pretty much was set on going to college, but now they have the $6 million to go give to somebody. A flyer pick. They wasted a chance to bring in top talent into their organization. $6 million could get you 3 of these flyer type situations. That's nothing to an organization. $6 million is absolutely nothing. And it's not like they reinvest this anywhere. They just keep it. So you're keeping $6 million, and when you had a chance to, bolster your farm system up, and they didn't do that. So that's why I think the Mets, they botched the ball on this one.
They get 2 first-round picks next year. And it's crazy that any MLB team can just not offer a draft pick a contract, and that draft pick is now can't play baseball for a year. The Cubs, did you see what the Cubs offered their picks? It's fucked up. They offered a dude like $1,000 because they knew he was a fourth.
Oh, yeah.
It's a 4th year in college, so he had no other option. So they signed him like 100% under slot.
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't think Kumar goes and plays anywhere. I think he just works out and throws bullpens and does all that. That's what I believe will happen. I don't think he's going to go to like the Atlantic League where they're like messing around with a bunch of dumb stuff right now. I don't think he's going to go play winter ball or anything like that. I think he's just going to pitch in a bullpen somewhere and work out.
Yeah, I think overseas could be the only option if he's up for that. Because again, like we say that, and again, another basketball company, the Ball brother went overseas. A couple guys have done that. Like, you got to get yourself up to go overseas and live there for a year.
He's not going to.
So, if you can get paid, I respect that a little bit. But, no, it's messed up. The system is clearly broken. And the part that really sucks is that the MLB draft, they've started investing in it and promoting it and trying to make it a thing. But the draft system is broken, and we have teams passing on guys because they cost more. We have guys passing on who they think is the best player in the draft. Guys, teams with the number 1 pick are passing on who they think is the number 1 guy to save a couple dollars up front. It's a disaster. And then our guy Peter Moylan, I saw him reply to a tweet earlier, and he's, because everyone's mad about this, rightfully so, and Peter said... And they're like, next CBA, they got to change this. And Peter said, well, what are we going to trade? Because that's how CBA talks go. So now you've got all these MLB guys at the table trying to take care of themselves and the future. But where on the priority list do top draft picks land? And it's tough, man. It's tough, dude. And baseball needs to realize how much they're hurting their sport with this. And, man, Kumar Rocker, I don't know where you end up. And if it's not Queens, which it can't be at this point, I hope you drop dick all over the field, my man. Vandy boys, baby.
Go to the Braves and just do it. This is what I see happening. And I've talked about this before. There is one way for people to get around the draft. And that's to go establish residency somewhere else. That's not Puerto Rico. That's not Canada. That's not the U.S. Go establish residency in Mexico. Go establish residency somewhere else and open yourself up to being a free agent. I know there's caps to the money you can spend there too, but at least you get to choose where you go.
Yeah.
What organization you want to go to.
And you can play.
That's what's going to end up happening. This situation, and like if Steve Cohen comes in here and absolutely just makes a mockery of baseball, I'm going to be very upset with him. I don't like that he's on Twitter talking like that. Him and A-Rod right now, just not on these guys. What's up with the New York dudes, huh?
I don't know, but it.
Are you guys gonna turn into that when Jimmy's got his moat around his house? Is he gonna turn into that? I hope not.
I've been taking care of the moat, and Jimmy still seems to be the same guy.
Okay, it's good. It's good to know that.
Moat's doing well. Yeah, man. I don't know. We gave the Mets a lot of love for getting Rocker, and it was a hot couple weeks for the Mets. And now we talk about in 2 weeks they got one of the gnarliest schedules in baseball and this Rocker news.
There were billboards put up for him.
Billboards put up. We're on Metsy watch. That's all I'll say.
Those billboards that were put up, they didn't have like the Mets on it, right?
I don't think so, but people were excited.
That's definitely his agency, I believe.
Probably the agency.
Like I've seen the Mets getting like ripped on. Like, oh, you put.
I don't think there's a Met logo.
You put billboards up. Oh, there is a Mets logo.
Is there?
Yeah, I wonder how that went down.
They
Then.
might have. Each team has their pro. You sign your first round pick. They throw out the first pitch. Everyone claps, and you see them in 3 years. They, I don't know. Not good.
Not a good look.
Not good for the game.
So
how about that moat though? Has there been anything wrong with Jimmy's moat
Gators.
or just standard stuff?
Your Gators.
that gator
We got different Gators. We got one crocodile.
Give your award, Jake. Let's go.
Long yep. But hey, first step after the deadline, lot going on. BBD, did I make my notes in there readable for you or no?
They're readable in there. I know what you're asking for. I think Jimmy has to play the audio of that if that's what you're looking for.
Aha. Well, we might be too far for that then. I'm giving out the Quicksand Award. One of the best movies ever recorded on film. The Replacements. One of the best scenes ever put on film. They're going around the locker room and they're talking about fear. And they jump around a little bit. They talk about spiders crawling up on your arm.
The auto plant? Prison. Yeah, all right.
We're getting the audio.
The truth is, you guys have been given something that every athlete dreams of. A second chance.
and you're afraid of blowing it. We all are.
But now our fear is shared, and we can overcome it together. Let's lose that fear this Sunday and put it into San Diego.
Yeah. Thanks, Sean. We got a couple guys who are getting second chances. It's not because of the replacement situation, but if anytime I get a chance to use the replacements, I'm gonna. It's a dual award. Rafael Ortega and Yadiel Hernandez. I believe Yadiel got an award last year on the show because he got a late call. And we're talking baseball stories. We just talk rocker and all that stuff. Baseball's got a couple worlds, man. Yadiel Hernandez, who, by the way, had a huge game, 2-homer game, 4 for 5. The Nats traded everyone away, so Yadiel's getting a chance to play. Didn't mean to rhyme. Yadiel comes over to the States at age 29. He rakes in Double-A. He's been hanging around the Nats minor league. Trev, these are his minor league stats. Let me know if these are good. 300 batting average, 383 on base, 889 OPS. Is that good?
It is.
That is good. So he's a little older, so that makes sense. He's 29 in Double-A. He was hanging around in Triple-A. He got a little taste of the show last year. Funny business season, 2020. He played 12 games, all that. Guess what? The 33-year-old now gets the call. He has the big game. He's been hitting this year. He's one of the guys, they have a few lefties that kind of swing like Soto, because why not? It's working. Yadiel, in 61 games this year, he's hitting 303, 358, 822 OPS in the show. And guess what? They traded everyone away. You're going to get a chance to play, kid. I hope Yadiel goes nuts the next couple months, and he gets a little run in the show. And on the other side of that, we're talking about paths to the big leagues. Rafael Ortega for the Cubs. The Cubs, they also trade everyone away. You guys want to know when Rafael Ortega's story starts? 2008. He's a 17-year-old. The Dominican Summer League Rockies. He's knocking it around there. He goes Venezuela League. Pioneer League, your Casper Ghost. How do you like being a 19-year-old Venezuela kid in Casper, Wyoming? I'll tell you what, not a ton of fun. Asheville Taurus, Modesto Nuts, some rocks in 2012. He gets a taste, just a taste. Tulsa Driller, Springfield Cardinals, Memphis Redbirds, Salt Lake Bees. I'm halfway through the list. New Orleans Baby Cakes. He's getting a shot with the Cubs, and he had himself a 3-yacker day in the show the other day. Cubs traded everyone away. This is kind of building off my Brandon Drury story from last time. If you get a chance, take it. Root for these guys, man. 30-year-old Rafael Ortega, he should get some run. He's having a nice year now with the Cubbies. And my guy, Yadiel Hernandez.
Rafael Ortega and Yadiel Hernandez.
Yes, sir.
Go, team, go.
Go nuts.
Goddamn
Let's
spiders
go.
creep me out, bro.
What was that movie called again?
The Replacements.
You don't know the Replacements, Trev?
No, I know what that is.
Trev, that's a bold-faced lie. That's like saying you don't know Wizard of the Oz, almost. Wizard of the Oz.
That's the
I'll
Ozzie
tell you how I
Smith
don't know.
remake.
Wizard of the Oz.
I couldn't tell you if that movie was in the 1950s or the 2000s.
Trev, do you know Keanu Reeves?
You know the movie The Replacements.
Keanu Reeves playing quarterback.
You just said Keanu Reeves playing quarterback. I was thinking it was the one
Jimmy Falco.
where they're in
Falco.
where they're in the jail.
That's the longest yard.
There's a scene where they're in jail, which is incredible.
That's where I thought that line came from, the one where they're in the jail.
First I was afraid.
I was petrified.
Love Keanu Reeves. My uncle does Keanu Reeves pool, and he says Keanu Reeves is the coolest person that you'll ever meet. He says sometimes he'll just walk out and give him like $500 in cash and just say, "Hey, Raj, I appreciate what you do."
Keanu has a reputation of being awesome. And The Replacements,
great movie.
From 2007 until 2014, I think it was the only thing TNT and TBS played.
Every scene is gold. Every scene is gold.
The Replacements is a great movie. You've seen it 20 times, and you see that it's on TV when you're flipping channels. You're gonna mentally note like I'm gonna make sure. It's like 8 Mile. You mentally note like make sure I come back to this channel for the end.
Oh, you were the man tonight, Clifford Franklin.
I might have to watch it. I'll watch it.
it.
I love Keanu, so maybe I've seen it before. 'Cause I know the movie you're talking about, but I couldn't tell you what happens.
If you're gonna watch it, let me know, and I'll watch it at the same time, and we can text each other during.
I want in.
Okay, I'll do that if you watch Lord of the Rings.
We'll tweet it out.
I'm not watching Lord of the Rings.
I love Lord of the Rings, so I'm in on that. Jimmy's not gonna watch Lord of the Rings.
Love Keanu Reeves. What a stud.
Okay. Best friend of the week?
Is this
Keanu
speaking of
Reeves.
longest yard? This is the longest episode.
I think we had 1-2 Bills before.
Well, the best friend of the week is AJ Pollock. 7 for 14. That's 500. 3 doubles, 3 ribbies.
Is that his third best friend of the week?
Thanks. At least his third.
You know I don't like AJ that much.
Connecticut.
Don't like him that much.
Uh-oh, the Padres.
Wow.
Oh, no. What's you doing, Padres?
I thought Jake's award was going to be about a team going to get the Padres because it's like, let's go get them in San Diego.
That line at the end is pretty killer. I mean, that's the Reds at this point, but we're talking Padres. Jim, you just landed on a good one. Who's playing short? Is it Kim?
That's be my guess. You want me to
Frazier got to step it up a little bit since coming over, not having the best time there. I think I saw him with like a 4.04 OPS.
get off his back?
He'll be okay.
It's early.
He'll be
6
all right.
games. 6 games.
The Tatis
Cronenworth
situation is
Cronenworth
crazy.
played short. Kim played short. That's a lot. They've had
Hosmer
2
stayed
games.
there. How do
since.
you feel if you're Hosmer? How do you feel if they were like, we're trying to unload this contract?
Yeah,
Like, that's a weird feeling, right?
Can't feel great.
Yeah, I mean Voigt's in the same boat for the Yankees,
But
but
you still get that money in the bank account.
Oh my God,
he's probably happy, man. I mean, he gets to be with the team.
hot wife, rich, good-looking guy, tall. I guess I don't feel bad for him. Never mind.
I know those feelings.
What is this? What is the story in San Diego? It's just all Tatis stuff.
Yeah.
They need some of their starting pitchers to step it up. Darvish has been okay. Needs to step it up if they want to.
Darvish?
Wild card spot.
Oh, they got 2 games against
Weathers
Oakland.
has been pretty good.
They'll split those and be on their way to Arizona and Miami, and then oh wow, Arizona! Look at this! Look at this!
Look at this schedule pod.
Would you come over here and please take a look at this? Padres have 2 against Oakland, then they go 3 against Arizona, 3 against Miami, 4 against Arizona, 3 against Colorado. Grab some wins.
All right, before we last
the
thing,
easy
Eric
schedule.
Hosmer's career earnings.
Haven't we done him?
I don't know.
160.
I was gonna say 170. I think we've done him before.
I'd have done.
I think we just did him.
Huge. Manny Machado's last 160 games this year and last year. 36 homers, 122 ribeyes, 292 batting average, 365 on base, and a 908 OPS.
200,000 smiles. Jake sucks.
What's the number, Trev?
Eric Hosmer is at 115 right now. He'll get to 175 before it's all said and done.
I always guess total.
He goes
guaranteed.
end. He goes end. Manny Machado finished 3rd in the MVP last year. How about that?